Well, good morning, Cam.
Good morning, Mitch. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
You know, uh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like capitals, all capitals good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Coming
But
to us live from Detroit.
yeah, I have moved locations. I am podcasting from my parents' basement, which has all sorts of connotations that really don't apply because I don't live in my parents' basement, but I am visiting.
So
Uh, so yeah,
there's a
live.
beautiful picture of your mom on the wall next to you.
That's we're just gonna leave that
That's the
alone.
thing.
Yeah, it's a charcoal drawing of my mom circa gotta be like 1982 or 83 because that's when my parents got married.
And
Uh
I'm just going to say, in case she listens to the show, she's a very lovely woman.
no, but she has a very disappointing look in the pictures. So I don't think she approves of whatever we're going to say.
Right.
So there's that.
So since we recorded last, there have been three football games, three Packer
Yes.
games at least.
Oh, we're gonna talk
Um,
about it. Okay, here we go.
yeah. So we lost to your Lions, which are only your Lions when they're doing well. So
No, they're yeah. I mean, I only claim them when they're doing well, which
yeah,
is 3 weeks out of every year. But no, they are always my Lions.
yeah. But then
And
we
they
we beat the Cowboys
hmm
and then lost to the Titans.
yeah,
My
it's gotta feel good to beat the Cowboys because like they're on national television pretty much every week, which for
hmm
the NFL is hard because they have that archaic regional schedule still on television. Which means look, because I live in Bears territory, I get to see the Lions pretty much only when they play the Bears or if they have the late game and the Bears have the early game, right? So it's a very like I might get to see four Lions games a year where I live, and it's stupid
hmm
because it's the only sport where that's really a problem. And again, that's why one of the reasons I prefer college football is I can watch Michigan every week. It doesn't matter where I'm at. College football is on national television on like seven different channels all day long, you know? So anyways, but yeah, the Lions did beat the Packers, and it was not a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination. And then they came back and they beat the Bears the next week, and again, very ugly game, but they won. Uh, and really, the only good team in the NFC North is the Vikings. So
Yeah.
everyone's fighting to be the best of the three bad teams this year.
Well, that seems to be the theme of the
Well, for
year, from
the
what I've
entire
heard.
NFL,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
there's
nobody's
a
doing
lot
that
of not
well.
good teams. There's a
Yeah.
lot of not good teams for sure.
When
The
they're saying it with the Packers at four, well, it was 4-6 during the game. They're now at 4-7. Um, they're like, well, they still have a shot at getting into the
the wild
playoffs.
card.
I'm like,
Yep.
seriously? They're
Mm-hmm.
3 games under 500. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I mean, even the Rams were 3-6 or whatever. Like they're the Super Bowl champions, right?
hmm
And there's a lot of reasons why they're not doing good. Matthew Stafford being one of them. But hey, he got his Super Bowl and his contract, so good for him. But anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
it's we'll see how the season shakes out, but it's been a rough couple weeks for a lot of football teams.
Yep. So,
So quick, I know we're going to talk about our predictees,
hmm
but let's do a quick predictee about the Packers and the Lions.
okay.
Who is going to finish the season with the better record, the Packers or the Lions?
Hmm.
Now I'm going to pull up because I need to know who the Lions play today, and I can't remember off the top of my head. So give me just a second. The Lions play the New York Giants today. So we know that the Packers lost on Thursday. The Lions play the Giants today. And it's in New York, or technically New Jersey. But so who's going to be the have better record by the end of the year?
Well, I don't like to make predictions without at least looking at something, because I would be making a blind prediction.
Mm-hmm. That's half the fun.
Yeah. So I'm guessing the Lions have already had their bye week.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we haven't yet. Um, So we're 4-7. You're 3-6. Man, it's going to be close. You know, the Packer fan in me wants to say that the Packers are going to come out ahead. Um, but man, they just have not been looking good. And I don't know what their schedule looks like right now. Like who they've got left.
I think the best the Lions could do is 7 wins, and that's if they beat the Bears a second time. So
Mm-hmm.
my guess is they'll probably have 6 wins, which
Hmm.
means you only have to win 3 out of your final 5 games to get to 7.
I just don't know that I have the hope that they're going to do that. I will. I can't. I can't. I can't put a vote in against my Packers. So
So you're
somehow
taking the Packers, and
I
I'm taking
have
the Lions.
I have hope. I have hope that my Packers are going to somehow turn this around and make something out of this season. I mean, really, they only lost against the Titans because the Titans just really outplayed them. Like they didn't necessarily look terrible. They're still dropping more balls than they should be.
Well,
Really,
I
really,
mean,
if you drop a ball, it's more than drop one ball. It's more than you should. Um, but if they can get that fixed, they've got a good running game. You know, I don't know. They should be winning more than they're winning. It's just the key, mistakes at key moments of the game that's hurting them right now. So, yeah, I'm gonna take the hopeful pick and say my Packer going to come back this season and at least do better than the Lions. We might be the bottom two in our division, but they'll at least do better than the Lions.
there you go. I'm putting your pick in the predictees, and I'm gonna foolishly take the Lions, even though I should take the Packers. But hey, someone's got to win and someone's got to lose.
Right.
Very good. Thanks for playing along, Mitch.
All right. So we are going to take a look at our predictees, our annual predictees, and we'll do some scoring with the assumption that we're probably not going to see any more announcements or have anything really change before the end of the year. If something does, we'll revisit it. But we also have some conversation to have about some of these picks to make sure that
Yes.
that we adjudicate these properly. So, your $5 word for today. So let's take a look at our predictees for this year, our annual predictees. Ooh, in true radio style, we have to have a theme song. So
I like it.
so with our annual predictees, we will crown a benevolent predictator for the year, and I don't have any official rules for this, but we have, is it 10 picks? 10 picks each. We have them grouped in categories of iPhone, iPad, iOS, and iPad OS, so everything mobile. We have 3 separate picks for Mac, 3 separate picks for wearables, and then we've got our moonshot, which I think we can both agree that we can change that name to our Buck Wild pick.
Yes.
Since
exactly.
that's a something that we've coined over the course of the
Yeah.
year. So I'm going to change that right in the
TM,
document.
copyright, trademarked,
Yep.
all of it. Yep,
Buck
that's ours.
Wild pick. All right, that is changed in the document. So, and that is worth 2 points. So,
Gets us to a possible 11.
possible 11 points today, and neither one of us got anywhere close to that. So, All right. So starting off with our first pick, I picked, and this is in our mobile category, so iPhone, iPad, iOS, iPad OS. More widget interaction. I did not get that.
Well, okay, so against my better judgment, I might argue something on your behalf here.
Okay.
Now, there's the live actions stuff, right? Which have a different name than
Mm-hmm.
widgets, but are widgets, right?
Can you interact with them though?
Well, yeah, because you get to see live updates. Like they're a brand new feature of iOS, right? You used to get a notification that just said your Uber driver is 5 minutes away. Now you get the interaction that pops up and shows you, oh, you can see him on the thing, right? I'm just trying to help you not go over, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this would, if I was you, this would be my argument that the live actions are, in spirit of your pick, a new way to interact with an alert or a notification from an application, which is technically maybe not a widget, but also could be argued that it is.
You know, if this was your pick, I would argue you. But if you're going to give it to me, I'm not going to argue. So,
There you go, Mitch.
whoops. Had two false starts there. I double hit the button twice. All right, so I'll take the point since you're so graciously offering it to me.
It's about the spirit of the pick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you said the iPhone Pro will come in a mini option. It
I
did
don't think
not
there's
come in a
any.
mini option.
Yeah, there's no arguing this one.
Yeah,
I don't know what I was thinking with this one.
I don't either.
You know, it's I haven't been wrong yet today, so that's the first.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
humbling.
Yep. It's early.
Yeah, well, that's the other. Thanks for pointing that one out.
um, my next pick was a new method of customizing the home screen. Now, we do need to adjudicate this one because I would argue that you can customize the home screen with the new lock screen customizations. I don't know that it was what I was thinking when I picked this, but I
But the
think
lock screen and the home screen are two different screens,
they
Mitch.
are two different screens. But when you change your lock screen background, there are options for your home screen background to change that in relation to your lock screen background. So you are affecting the home screen by the way the lock screen is changed. I will shut up and let you make the call.
I don't know, Mitch. I don't know. I mean, technically, it's probably true, right? Because I can change my lock screen and then, as you said, in the lock screen customization, also then change my home screen's background. So technically, that is a new method.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I am being way too nice today. All
You
right,
are being nice.
make it green.
All right.
Just remember, I am the benevolent predictator from last year, so I'm showing my benevolence here.
What did you? Oh yeah, you did win. Did we win last year?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. My memory.
You're the one attempting the military coup here, not me.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my throne.
All right. So your next pick, and I'm willing to make some discussions here.
I'm about to drop a link in the chat, bro. I get this one
Okay.
100%.
iOS 16 will include more shortcut actions for Apple apps, notes, reminders, calendars, etc. Now,
And I will direct your attention to MatthewCasanelli.com and his iOS 16 action shortcuts list. And the very first option is notes and the multiple new actions that notes received.
all right, we'll give you that
Very
one.
much. Thank you very much.
So I need to zero out some of these points here so that we can get a running total.
And Matthew Casanelli is the reigning authority on all things shortcuts. He actually worked for them when they were still Workflow, when they got acquired by Apple, and then he left after that. He's got a very helpful website. If you're into shortcuts at all, go to MatthewCastanelli.com and check out. He's got a whole bunch of ones that are available for free. He documents all of the changes, all of the different actions. Like it is, if you're into shortcuts at all and you've somehow not heard of Matthew Castanelli, go to his website. It is a treasure trove of shortcuts goodness. Public service announcement now ended.
All right. So really, that pick, if you said you got it, I was going to give it to you because quite honestly, the only reason that I read it out, made it red, was because I didn't remember there being any announcements made about it when they introduced iOS 16. So that again, it was something that if you said that this is your like area or field of expertise, so if you said that they did, then I was going to totally give it to you. So, all right, my next pick: iPhone will come in orange, maybe not called orange. I could not make that buzzer longer. I didn't get that at all. iPad Pro and M1 Pro and Max chipsets, or iPad Pro has M1 Pro and Max chipset options. That was your pick.
Yeah, and they just skipped it and went to the M2 because they want me to knock. Like, why? Why? It was right there.
All right. No points for you on that. So after the mobile round, I am sitting at 2 points. You have 1 point. So let's move on to the Mac. So my first pick is Mac Pro ships in 2022. We got a month.
But Apple's already said there's no new hardware coming.
This is true.
Unless they're burying the lead and setting us up for a surprise so the interesting thing here to talk about, right, is the end of this year marks the 2-year transition to Apple Silicon. So does that mean they missed their deadline with the Mac Pro, or does that mean that a Mac Pro is not coming?
I think they missed their deadline with the Mac Pro because they made the comment
it's still coming.
That there was another machine still coming earlier this year. And this was after the Studio was, I think this was after the Mac Studio was announced.
And so do we just chalk this up to hashtag supply chain? Like that?
Possibly.
That's probably going to be their excuse,
yeah.
Right?
My headcanon on this one is that I think what they're having trouble with is that there was a lot of talk, this time last year about the what was it, the Jade C die, the Jade 2C die, the Jade 4C die. And what they came out later and realized that the Jade C1 was the M1 Pro. The Jade C2 was the M1 Max, which if you remember had the 2 chips. Or was that the Ultra? That's the Ultra. I'm sorry. The Ultra has was there? Remind me. Please help me out. My brain is not functioning. One of them had 2 chips that had
the Ultra.
That was the Ultra. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's believed to be the Jade 2C die. That they also had a chip in the lineup that was a 4 chip on the die.
2 Ultras essentially.
Yeah, so it would have been like 2 Ultras connected.
The M1. What would they even call that?
Well, the joke was that they would call it the Extreme.
Yeah, the ginormous.
Yeah. So my thought is that they were having trouble getting that to work properly. And that's what they wanted to put in the Mac Pro, because you want the Mac Pro to be like, hey, guess that chip that we had before that was like screaming fast and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you can make a chip that fast. Here's 2 of them. So I think that's what's holding up the Mac Pro.
64 streams of concurrent 8K raw video that no one needs.
Yeah, right. So I'm sure there's one person out there somewhere that's mining Bitcoin that could use it. So
who knows? Yeah.
But anyway,
All right.
I did not get that point. So did I buzz myself? Yeah, I didn't think I did.
Yes.
All right. So your next pick, you want to read this one?
I was like, didn't we already talk about this? And then I realized it's the iMac with M1 Pro and Max chipset options.
Yeah, do we even need to discuss that one?
Well, did they even release new iMacs this year? I'm trying to
Nope.
remember.
Nope.
Okay, that's
Just
that's what
just the colorful IMAX that they released. Was that I don't think that was this year. I think that was like
that
the
was
end of
last
last
year.
year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we got
All
no
right,
new
so
IMAX.
I went all in on the M1 Pro and Max and swing and multiple misses.
Miss. Hard miss. Um
Like I
I
feel
did
like they threw like a knuckleball at me, and I swung before the ball was even 10 feet at home plate.
yeah,
That's how bad I missed that one.
and I struck out all the way across the board here. So um new 27-inch iMac will be the iMac Pro. Yep, did not get that one.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Universal Control Ships was your next pick.
It sure was.
It sure did. And how much do you love it, huh?
I've used it once, and it was by accident.
I use it all the time. I'm literally sitting here right now with my iPad, or I'm sorry, my MacBook Pro off to the left side of me, and I just ran my cursor over to that, and now it's back on my iMac, and it's glorious. I use this a lot. At church is probably the most common one because I set my MacBook Pro up on the desk, and I've got Mac Mini that I run the live stream on with an ultra wide screen, and I
Mm-hmm.
just slide my cursor right up onto the screen, so I don't have to have another keyboard on the desk, and use the keyboard on my Mac, the trackpad on my Mac. It's glorious. I
Gotcha.
love it. So I'm a huge fan of Universal Control.
Very good.
All right, so my next pick I think can still happen, and I think I'd be surprised if we don't see it in the next year. And that is the MacBook comes back.
So you're talking the as has become podcast parlance, the MacBook Adorable or the MacBook Zero. Right?
I'm talking about the branding. I think they just go back to a machine that's just called the MacBook.
Oh, so you're saying so no Air, no Pro, just MacBook?
No, I think it'll be part of the line, whether they keep the MacBook Air or not. That they'll come out with maybe here's what I see happening. So the MacBook Air can stay in the line as a mid level, much like the iPad Air is.
Uh-huh.
The MacBook Pro is your machine that is for your pro people. But what the MacBook does is that this is your fun machine. This is the machine that you give your kid. This is the machine that this is the one that comes in the rainbow of colors. And it's the less serious machine for people that just want to buy something fun and interesting, and it'll still be a relatively powerful machine. I think it'll be on the M2 or the M3, but it won't be. You won't have the M Pro available for it. Maybe that's how they differentiate the MacBook Air, is that they put the Pro chip in it, and then your MacBook Pro has the Max chip, or maybe the Max and the Ultra chip available in it in the next year. I say shoot for the moon if you're going to do it. Go all the way with it. But but I think the MacBook branding makes sense for like the machine that you buy your kid to go to college with, or something like that. It doesn't need to be. You don't need a machine that's going to do a whole bunch of video editing and stuff like that. You need it for writing papers. You need it for searching the internet, checking your email.
Gotcha.
It's just your entry level machine, and maybe it's a sub $1,000 machine. Maybe they come in at $899 or even $799 on a machine like that.
Yo, dude, if they come in at $799, that would be a very like deliberate move on their part, right? That would be the cheapest you could get a Mac in a long time.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. I really like to see that, and maybe it's like an 11-inch screen.
Yeah, a little tiny guy.
Yeah, just a little, almost netbook style, but not quite that small. But I think it makes sense in the lineup. But I did not get that. So, and you've got a new MacBook Pro mentioned. Yep. We did get that in WWDC, correct?
I mean, it's green, so I'm not going to argue against it.
Yeah, I could swear that they even said MacBook Pro, or I'm sorry, Mac Pro. But there was a mention at some point because I greened it. So, all right.
So I'm oh boy.
Yeah,
Let's look at
you
this.
took the lead. So after 2 rounds, we are sitting at I've got 2 points, you got 3.
Yes, and now we move into the wearables section,
That we do.
which things could get interesting here, folks. Buckle up.
So I have no watch. I'm sorry, no watch redesign.
I mean,
If it wasn't for the Ultra, I would
yeah,
have this.
That's the tricky part, right? Is like the watch didn't get redesigned; they just made a completely different model.
Yeah, and that's where I could argue, but I think that's where my argument falls apart.
Yeah, because if you said new watch design, you get the point, but you said redesign,
Mm-hmm.
which means the existing watch would have to change, and it did not.
Well, I said there was no watch redesign. I didn't say there was a
No.
watch redesign. I said there was no watch
Oh,
redesign.
there we go.
So do I get that point?
No.
So you just argued for why I didn't get the watch redesign point, and so I don't get it either way.
Right. Exactly. It's red. We're just going to move on.
I should probably argue for that point, but AR MR headset announced but doesn't ship in 2022. Consumer model won't ship.
So I lose this one, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't announce it. It's just definitely not shipping, but
No.
they didn't announce it, so I don't get the point.
No, and there's conflicting rumors right now that we may not see it, for a couple of years yet. We may see it at the beginning of this next year. We may not see it for a couple of years. It depends. So the latest rumors say that they've got production starting on it in a small quantity for Apple, that they might have like 1 million in the production plans for it, but for them that's a small amount to be shipping, because I think they expect this one to be really expensive and very high end. And the rumor also included that there'd be 2 models. There'd be the Reality Pro and the Reality One. So it sounds like there might be a lower end model.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is that what that's like what they think is going to be called?
I think that there's some trademark filings that point to those names being used.
All right. Well, I don't like the name.
Yeah, I didn't figure you would. So let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm glad that my reputation precedes me.
So I had to pick in this category new AirPods Pro with lossless audio. I hear the audio sounds really good on these. So I do not get that point. And you said no AirPods Max updates, and you get the point on that. So I'm not sure what they would have done to the AirPods Pro. I'm sorry, the AirPods Max, but you get
but
that
alas,
point.
I get the point. Yes.
But you get the point. So
hey, what's your next pick?
My next pick was AirPods Max update, which I don't get the point for. So
I love the fact that we picked opposite and I got the point. It just feels good. I'm just going to say, it just feels good.
I'm glad you feel good.
Although, to be fair, you are the one that has the AirPods Max. So
I do. Mm-hmm.
and you're wearing them right now.
I am wearing them as we talk. I use these a lot.
I
Yeah,
know.
I like them. All right.
I will say because you wear them every time you record, they have started to grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not going to buy them.
So let's talk about them for a second.
Yes, let's.
What needs to change for them to be a set of headphones that you would like?
They need to not be so expensive,
Okay,
which is not going to change.
I
Like
expected.
literally, that is the at this point, I am over the silly bra thing that they sit in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the like that. I'm past like whatever. That was silly. I can move on. It serves a purpose, right? It keeps them in your bag. Click. But at this point, it is literally only the fact that they cost so much money.
I just dribbled a little bit of coffee on my keyboard. Hold on.
I saw.
Everything's good. It was just a dribble or two, so I don't think it hurt anything.
Very good.
If not, I might be in the market for a new keyboard. But so far, so good. All right. I here's the thing. Okay, let me ask you this question. So let's take price out of the equation, and we agree that the bra is kind of silly.
Yeah.
So what would there be features for the new AirPods Max that would make you go, oh, you know what? That might actually be worth the money.
Well, let me ask you, how is the noise canceling on those?
Amazing.
Okay.
I have the noise canceling on right now, and the only thing I can hear is you because you're coming into my AirPods.
Yeah. So I mean that so I have the AirPods Pro,
Mm-hmm.
the original AirPods Pro, and the noise canceling on those I would give like out of 100 like a 75. It gets most things out, but like if I'm mowing the lawn or blowing the leaves, right, loud stuff, you can hear just a little bit of that hum, right, which is still impressive because lawnmowers are very loud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I see, like, I don't think I would mow the lawn in my AirPods Max if I had them, right? Because like you get sweaty and whatever. But like for traveling, like on an airplane or in the airport or out in very noisy public areas, noise canceling can be very convenient. And so,
Mm-hmm.
not obviously having experienced it, but you telling me that it's very very good. That would be one of the main reasons I would go for headphones like that, because the Bose, like they're competing with the Bose over ears, and that sort of stuff. So they have to at least compete, if not win, in that category for
Mm-hmm.
me to consider it. Do they have physical buttons to control the volume?
Yeah, there's the digital crown is
Oh,
on
that's right. They have
up
the
here.
crown. Okay.
So that's your volume control. It's also a button for play pause, and then there's a button on the front for controlling your noise cancellation and transparency mode.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, again, me. I prefer, like, I need to be able to control it. So that's good.
Dude, if I had to swipe up and down on the pad to
Oh,
control stuff, I would hate
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Because I touch these a lot, so like I have to adjust. I hit these buttons on accident sometimes. So
and what's the adjustability range
let's
as
just
far
put
as
it
like
this
the
way:
headband?
if it was any smaller, they'd be too small for my head.
Well,
They're
and that's
like
the issue.
they're out as far as they go. If I put a stocking cap on or something like that, they start to get tight. But I got a big
Okay.
head too, so
Well, no, but Mitch, I have a huge head.
I think
Like,
you and I have comparably sized heads.
do one size fits all hats look like yarmulkes on you?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we struggle from the lie that is one size fits all.
I've found that if I'm buying a baseball cap, new era caps have the depth that I need.
Mm-hmm.
But like normal, like if I just buy a hat off the rack, it sits like a half an inch to an inch above my ears. Like it's not
Yeah.
deep enough for my head.
Like I can't buy a standard snapback because
Mm-hmm.
it's like if I have it on the second dot, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So like
might be
my
I think I'm like about a 2 dot, maybe 3 dot.
yeah, my fitted
Yeah.
hat size is 7 3/4 or 7 7/8,
Yeah,
which is
It's about the
There
same
you
as me. Yeah.
go. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Then. So they fit you, they would fit me. Because that's, again, a concern. But I think at this point, then the only thing is just price.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to spend that kind of money on headphones.
And
And if,
you saying that and I had the regular AirPods Pro for a while, so
mm-hmm,
I can tell you from a comparison, these are much better for noise cancellation. I mean,
mm-hmm.
just the fact that they're over your ears makes a huge
Exactly.
difference.
Yeah.
But when you're talking giving them like a 75 out of 100, I would say these are more like 95.
Okay.
Like it's that much better.
Yeah, and I think if I was going to spend that kind of money on headphones, I wouldn't get headphones. I would get molded in ears.
Yeah.
Because I'm a musician, and if I'm going to spend the money on headphones, I'm going to spend it on those because I'm going to use those in various, like I have in-ears in right now. So I would use them when I podcast, I would use them when I play music, and then they also are very good at noise canceling because they're molded to your.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to spend that kind of money, and to be honest, if I'm going to spend that kind of money on headphones for in-ears, I'm going to wind up spending more money than the AirPods Max cost, which is why I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Which is why my in-ears they've got the foam tips and not the custom molded ones. And these are good enough for now, and maybe one day I will get the fancy ones, but I just can't I just can't push myself to spend that kind of money on headphones.
I will say that there's one thing that holds them back a little bit, and it's the fact that they are Bluetooth. And even like I have them connected on a cord so that I can have them plugged into my soundboard. I'm not convinced that this cord really improves the sound quality. First off, this cord is super thin, you know, but I'm not convinced that it sounds better when you plug it into a cord. It might, but to me, they sound amazing, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have like a hi-fi man set of headphones that I plug into an expensive DAC and sit and listen to music, and I'm not that guy. But if I want to listen to some music and I really want to, close myself off and just listen and appreciate the music, these headphones do way more than I need them to do. They sound amazing. They're really good. They isolate well. I am super happy with them. And when I put them in transparency mode, sometimes I will be listening to some music in the kitchen when I'm making coffee in the morning, and I'll have these on, and I can hear my wife better with these than I can if I put my like AirPods 3 in, which is like not having headphones on at all almost. And listen to music. It's like there's something like I can't hear her when I have those in as well as I can hear them when I have transparency mode on with these, which is incredible. It sounds like I don't have them on. So it's good.
Very good.
Yeah.
This has been the AirPods Max segment of our show.
Well, it was a convenient opportunity for us to look at that.
It was.
And I don't know what happened to the pick there. Did you do? Oh, I must have done something there. All right. Your last pick in the wearables category. Do you want to tell everybody what you picked?
I decreed as the benevolent predictator that it should be so that Apple produces a thinner Apple Watch. And they didn't listen.
Didn't. If my memory serves, the old watch was 10.5 millimeters, and the new watch is 10.5 millimeters. And the Apple Watch Ultra was even thicker. So
yes,
we did not get a thinner Apple Watch this year. All right. After 3 rounds, you picked up a point. So I've got 2 points. You've got 4 points, but we've got our Buck Wild pick to go yet.
Buck Wild.
I don't think things are going to get better here. New iMac. My pick, new iMac Pro will come in a variety of colors.
That is a Buck Wild pick.
What makes that a Buck Wild pick is we weren't promised we were going to get another iMac Pro, and then I want it in color. And
that's the thing is that Apple thinks that professionals don't like colors.
Yeah, it's weird.
You can choose between silver or space gray.
Silver or another shade of silver.
Exactly.
Or someone always says that. Maybe it's on ATP. You get gray or another shade of gray. You can have it in any color you want as long as you want it in one of these two shades of gray.
Uh-huh.
All right.
All right.
Your pick. If they ship an iPad with an M1 Pro or Max, they better also ship Logic and Final Cut for iOS.
They better. Wow,
Yep.
3 buzzers. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I think there was 3 picks in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, it was so the reason this is my Buck Wild pick is that it was contingent on one of my regular picks for this to even be possible, that they would then choose to double down on one of my earlier picks to add additional features. So yeah, that's I missed that one.
Well, I think we
Kiss the
can
ring,
crown
Mitch.
we can crown you.
Kiss the ring.
Get your hand off the camera. Cam Brennan, you are the annual benevolent predictator.
Yes, let it be so.
All right.
Feels good, I'll be honest.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Now, how is it that I keep losing this stuff?
I don't know. How do I keep winning?
Maybe I just live in some kind of fantasy world where it's like, hey, you know, these things are the things that should happen. You know,
well,
I don't think anything that I've said doesn't make sense.
I will give you one tip.
Mm-hmm.
You got to let go of the orange thing, buddy. I know that's your color. You just got to let it go.
I just think it should be a staple of my picks because eventually I'm going to get it.
No, but like you think about it, right? Like the fact that we didn't get any iMacs this year, that hurt you.
Yep.
The fact that the Mac Pro didn't ship, that hurt you, right? Yeah, very specific AirPods. I mean, it just, yeah, flip of a coin on a couple of these, and you could have won, and I could have lost. So
yeah. And I would argue more for that no watch redesign, but it wouldn't have helped me. So
just made it a little closer.
Maybe I just have to start playing the game more general.
Yeah, don't pull a Federico and get way too unnecessarily detailed.
You're right.
Live in the gray area, Mitch. Your shades of gray.
I can have whatever pick I want as long as it's one of these two shades of gray.
Exactly. And I'm not going to make the obvious joke there. We're just going to walk past it.
I don't know what the obvious joke is there.
That's okay.
I'm too tired.
We'll let the discerning listener make the joke for themselves.
All right, sir. What is delighting you today?
I'm going to speak in vague terms here. Again, we're going to live in the gray.
All right.
I will just say the thing that is delighting me is a new friendship. And I will leave it at that. And I know that's probably the shortest delighting me section of all time, but I have a new friendship and I'm very happy and it's wonderful.
Part of the reason why you're in Detroit right now.
Exactly. So, but pray tell, Mitch, what is delighting you these days?
All right. Well, I have two things that I want to talk about this morning.
All right.
One of them I'll say real quickly that that one of my favorite games from this last year, the Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, had some new character packs that they dropped this last week, or this month. They're actually there's 6 character packs that they introduced starting on November 1st. 2 of them dropped on November 1st. 2 of them dropped on the 16th. And 2 more are going to drop at the end of the month. So each one of those, I think, costs like $2 or $3 a piece, or you can buy them all for $15, or was it $10? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I right away November 1st, I'm like, this is easy money. I'm throwing money at this. This is good. And one of the big things that I was the most excited about is my favorite character in all of Star Wars has been added to Star Wars or Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Jabba the Hutt.
No, you could play Jabba before,
Oh,
which is weird because he just like slugs along on the ground. But no,
no.
Grand Admiral Thrawn is in
Oh.
is in the Lego Star Wars game now. They added
So they're making him canon, or has
he is canon. He's there.
Okay.
He was in the Rebels.
But he's not. He's
in
not
Rebels.
been in. Oh, he was in Rebels. Okay,
Mhm.
I haven't. So, but that's the only TV show he's been in.
Correct.
Okay.
He is rumored to be introduced back in when the Ahsoka series comes in live action. So that'll be really interesting. He's such a complex character that I'm really afraid that he's not going to be it's just not going to be right. He's not going to be the way he is in the books because of how just the complexity of his character. But when I went back and rewatched Rebels, I thought, they didn't do a terrible job with him in Rebels. I think they could have done a little bit more, but at the same time, like he wasn't a main character like he is in the books.
Gotcha.
So for him to have the big thing to know about him is that the strategy and the way his brain works is so much more evident in the books. That when you go into Star Wars Rebels without any of that knowledge, you may think, "Oh, this guy's just really smart," like he just figures things out. But in the books, you start to see like how he strategizes and how he actually controls different aspects of the plan, and how he just has an innate sense of what's going to happen, and he can reason it all back. And that's one of the fascinating things about his character in the books is that you'll go along for a long time in the books not really understanding all of his decisions, and then he'll lay out like he'll go back and explain why he did he made all the decisions that he made, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, why did I not see that? And it's really, really fascinating. He's just, that's what makes his character so fascinating. And like I said, it's going to be hard to play that off in a show. So I'll be interested to see what they do with him. But yeah, he's in the game now. And I think the only thing that would have made it better is if they would have added Chopper from the Rebels series too, because I love Chopper. He's a fun droid. So.
And don't forget his good twin brother, Grand Admiral Sean.
You're so dumb.
I couldn't resist. You know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help myself sometimes.
His name is actually Mithron Yoroto.
Sure,
but,
it is.
But they,
sure.
but they, like we would do a nickname. In Chiss, that's the race of alien he is. He's Chiss. Their culture, they use what they call the mid name. So Mithron Yoroto is actually 3 different names that say your family name, an indicator of who you are, and then the stature of who you are. Like, when you would get some kind of commendation or something like that in the military, that's what the end of his name actually means, is he got a commendation. So it was Mithron Nuru, but then he picked up this accommodation where he became Mithron Yoroto. So it's all in the books. But his mid name is Thrawn, so that's what he goes by instead of his full name, which is Myth is his family name, and then Ron is his designation. Yoroto is his the commendation that he received.
So you would be Craig Mitch podcaster Roto?
Something like that.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, we'll just go with Mitch.
Yep. That's
yeah. So yeah. And the other thing is, and I'm not going to play any of it for you because technically I'm bound by rules not to. But Project 86 gave a 24-hour preview of Volume 1 of their double album that they're working on right now, and it is amazing. It is really good.
So it's not out yet, but they gave you like a 24-hour window that you can listen to what they have so far.
No, the first volume is done.
Oh,
They're
okay.
working on the second volume now, and so they shared the 12 tracks from the first volume on online. It would have been on Wednesday, and it's good. It's
What?
super heavy. It's
Well, I
heavier than a
mean,
lot of their stuff has been.
really? Okay.
Um, but he's working with the guys from Norma Jean,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's got a little bit of that like heavier flavor to it.
So when is
But
the album out for normal people that don't have the preview?
there's no release date yet.
Oh, okay.
Because they're
So
still
you have
working on the
like,
second album.
oh, because you said it's a
So
double.
yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. So you got access to the first volume though.
yeah. So what they're
Very
doing is
cool.
they're making, this is the album that he set out to make. The second album is actually two EPs that they're making. One of the EPs is what they're referring to as the Brutality EP, which
Nice.
is they're taking and making like the heaviest music that they
I
can
was gonna
make
say, I hope
from
it's
it.
all
Yeah.
acoustic, just for the
Oh no.
irony.
No, it's supposed to be super heavy. And the second EP is all digital. It's going to go the exact opposite direction and be a lot of digital stuff, which makes sense with the theme of the album. So that's going to be the double album. But they're also supposed to be coming out with like and they've got a music video for one of the album or one of the songs on the album that, if I'm not mistaken, was going to be all animated. So it's not going to be. He made the comment early on in the his podcast that he hates like the goofy band plays on the music or the video, the
Hmm.
music video. He thinks that's cheesy and dumb. So he wants to tell the story that he's telling in the song, and so he's working with an animator to animate all of it. So it actually reminds me a little bit more of like what Tool used to do for their music videos. That it told the story instead of being a stupid like watching the band members play. So
Now I have
makes
schism
sense.
stuck in my head, so thanks for that.
I can hear it too.
Yep.
Because that was on MTV all the time,
I'm
late
gonna
night.
have to listen to that in the car later and just crank it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a good 15-minute drive later today, so that's gonna
Yeah.
be the first song that gets played.
So the theme of the album is end times,
Oh,
and
okay,
what
then maybe that's why it's as heavy as it is.
yeah. So what the loose, and I'm still trying to dig through the lyrics to get all the specifics, but the loose interpretation of the album is that man has created this tower. It kind of follows the Tower of Babel kind of idea, but they've created this tower, and the tower is a technology that they're introducing that allows you to be connected to everybody else, and
The metaverse.
it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But there's this real strong idea of like giving up who you are to become part of a greater thing,
Mhm.
and it's all around what it takes me as, and I don't know if this is the exact intent of what he's saying, but it's almost like become like turn yourself into a digital self, become an avatar in this world, and now your body doesn't mean anything, and it's part of like trying to transcend the idea of being able to die and basically living forever. And towards the end of the album, I think it's the third, there's like he does these little interstitial like where the album kind of stops and there's this music and there's some talking over the music and it kind of pushes the story forward. And there's the third song from the end is one of these where it's somebody talking, and it's him, but he's playing the character in the album, talking about how they've overcome death and that there's no longer a need for God, and it's actually really chilling. The way he words everything, and how, your ways are antiquated. We've overcome you, and we no longer need
Yes,
you.
the
And
the newer is always better, right? That whole concept,
mhm.
right? And
and
oh,
we've
yeah.
overcome death on our
Oh,
own, so we don't need you anymore.
yeah, man.
And
All right.
then the
I can
album ends with God raining meteors down from the heavens to destroy it.
How's that for antiquated?
Yep. And the last album is Andrew poetically introducing, or poetically talking as God, saying, I created you. I made you for a
Yeah.
time. And you the because the idea of the album is trying to overcome death. He's saying, I created you for a time, and you are not, I did not create you to live forever. And this kind of goes back to Genesis 3 when, man fell, and now he's like, dude, you got to get him out of Eden. We got to
Oh,
get them
and
out of
then
Eden because they
put
can't
an
they can't eat of the tree of life, because then they'll live forever.
right, yeah, and put an
Hmm.
end, like a cap on, like they can only live so
Yeah.
long, right? Yeah.
So
And that has over time gotten shorter and shorter and
right,
shorter.
but he comes on and he says this, and then he says, I'm going to bring the rain, or something to that point. But it's not a rain of water and thunder. I'm a lot. Or I'm what is it? He calls it the stars' descent, I think. Basically,
That's not
where
good.
in the one song they're talking about how the stars are still, and that that God hasn't responded, so therefore you must not, we must have overcome you. And
Hmm.
in the end, he's like, I'm showering the stars on you to prove that you are not,
You haven't overcome anything.
yeah, you
Yeah.
haven't overcome anything. I'm still in control. And it's I got out of the car after listening to these few songs the first time. I had the biggest smile on my face. As I was like, man, I'm so glad I picked the right team. So, so good.
All right. Well, yay for concept albums. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You'll have to let me know when it comes out because I want to listen to it.
Yeah. And like I said, it is brutally heavy.
No, I can appreciate some heavy music.
Yeah, he started referring to this voice. He got this voice finally where what he calls the fourth gear, where it's like it's really deep, and like not really
Hmm.
growly, but really like strong. Um
Hmm.
which I honestly don't care for as much, you know. But that's where you get the heaviness of this album.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of that. So,
Drops the clutch into a.
oh yeah,
All right. Well, very good.
that's
I'm
good.
glad that you were able to carry this section today because
Hmm.
very
There's
cool.
there's a lot that can't be said about what's going on with you yet, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But I'm happy for you. It's good. You enjoy your time with your new friend.
Uh, I will do my best.
I told my wife this morning, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm really happy for him." That's awesome. So it's good. All
Cool.
right. Well, anything else we wanna wrap up with today?
Oh boy. Nothing jumps out at me. I mean, we covered
Man,
quite the gamut of things today,
it's been
which is
it's been
par
snowing
for the
here.
course. Oh,
Oh.
oh, okay. So speaking of snow,
Hmm.
I know talking about the weather is like, whatever, but I'm gonna send you two pictures. Uh, so I drove from where I live in Illinois to Detroit yesterday. It's supposed to be a 5-hour drive,
Hmm.
door to door. Super easy. I got usually getting out of Chicago is the hard part because especially on the weekends. So I
Mm-hmm.
left at a time when I thought, okay, I'm going to miss most of the traffic, and all the construction on I-80 was actually done. When I came up a few weeks ago, it was half the lanes were closed. It took me 45 minutes to go 2 miles.
Yeah.
It was brutal. So I get out of Chicago in like record time. Like, man, I'm gonna get there in less than 5 hours. I hit Western Michigan, and the lake effect snow is well, it is what it is. Like you go through it, but
Mm-hmm.
then there's a line of snow clouds that literally follows I-94 all the way across the state. There's no snow above it. There's no snow or north of it. No snow south of it. It's a blue line in carrot weather that just follows the contours of I-94. So I drive 3 hours through Michigan in just straight snow,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got to Ann Arbor and it stopped. But it's hysterical. Like, I mean, yeah. Anyways, so that was so it wound up taking me 6 hours to make the 5 hour trip because I had to go like 45 miles an hour through the snow because it was the sky and the ground were the same color.
Yeah.
When you're like you can't see the horizon because it's all just gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't see like more than like 30, 40 feet in front of you because yeah, so it was just everyone was just there was like at least 3 semis that were off the road down in the ditches on the side of the highways,
Yeah.
which has got to be awful for those folks.
Yeah.
Just I felt so bad because it ruined like they're having not a good day
Yeah.
at all. So, but you guys got how much snow do you have?
It's just really, I don't know. There's a little dusting in the grass. This morning is the first time I've actually seen it start to accumulate on the roads. Otherwise, it hasn't accumulated on the roads at all here. So,
Yeah, the ground's still got to freeze, but it's coming,
mm-hmm.
man. Winter is coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just had wet roads pretty much. But we brine heavily up here, so there's anything that was hitting the roads was melting off right away. So, but,
I love
but
that
yeah.
you said brine.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna eat the roads tomorrow for dinner, but we gotta brine them first.
Well, that's what they call it. It's a salt. It's a salt mixture, salt and corn, from what I understand.
Corn.
Yeah, it's got a corn component to it. So
Why?
I don't know, cause I guess I don't know.
Because corn lowers the freezing temperature too.
Don't ask me. I don't. I'm not a chemist. But
Oh.
man, I don't know if I'm ready for winter yet.
I am. Bring it on.
It's cold here.
And also bring it on again.
Yeah, it is cold here. Overnight tonight, it's supposed to get down to 8 degrees.
That's chilly.
That is cold. Chilly. It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'll tell you, I thank the Lord every night I get done with work for remote start.
Yeah.
Because man, that walk across because we of course when you work somewhere that has customers, they never want you to park in the front of the parking lot. You have to park in the
Yeah.
back. So you
Mhm.
got to walk across this expanse of the parking lot. And the way our parking lot is set up, it's just open from like we're on the far eastern side of this shopping center.
Mhm.
And so there's probably a half a mile of parking lot uh, to the west. So when that wind comes down into the parking lot, it just sweeps right across that parking lot. And it's when it's windy, it is awful walking across that parking lot. But I'll tell you what, man, when I open up the door to my Dodge or my Jeep Renegade, and it is like nice toasty warm in there, and I'll put like some jazz or some blues on the Sirius XM radio, and I'll get in, and it's like, oh, it's just like being wrapped, like just a hug that my car is giving me when I get in. It's good.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
that a lot.
good for you. I wish I had remote start.
It's wonderful. Next car, remote start.
Well, so on mine, I can turn the vents on,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't add heat or air conditioning. It just brings in whatever the outside air is to like vent the car essentially. And that's not helpful except for like April and May and like September
Yeah.
and October, right? Like there's 4 months where like, yeah, fresh air would be nice because it's beautiful outside. But in the summertime, I don't want more hot air coming into my car. And in the wintertime, I don't want more cold air coming in.
Right.
But
Seems.
like, I got all excited because I figured it out on my phone. I was like, oh, I could. And then I was like, oh, it just vents. It doesn't actually turn the engine on or
Yeah.
dumb. But hey, something to shoot for.
Yeah. And the aftermarket ones are dodgy at best.
And I'm not about to mess with that on my car. I don't want to avoid any warranties or, all that crap.
You couldn't take it to the dealership and have something added?
Oh yeah, but I have a BMW, so it would cost me twice as much as it would for like
$2,000 or something like that.
And I'm just not,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend money on that. I have plenty of other things I need to be saving for. So
Right on.
and I can handle the cold.
It'll be all right.
It will.
All right. Well, it's been a blast, man. We'll get back and do this here again in a couple of weeks, and good
Indeed.
stuff.
And as the benevolent predictator, I shall allow you to end the show. Carry on.
All right. Well, if you would like to know more about us or check out our back catalog, of course, you can hit us up at innerdialogue.show.
Yes.
And there you can also click on icons of different apps that you might be using for your podcast pleasure. And that'll help you find us a little bit more easily in such apps as Overcast or Apple Podcasts or Pocket Cast. So feel free to head up there. We're also available on Spotify. So, it's a thing. People listen
Where
to us
all
there.
fine podcasts may be procured.
Yep.
You shall find us.
It is interesting to see where we get listened to a lot if you go into our metrics, because we've got a pretty decent force of people that listen through Amazon Music podcasts,
Really?
which I think is really interesting. I wonder if that's also Audible. If that's how Audible shows up in metrics, but because we're on Audible as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Look at
But,
that. Well, hello to all of our Amazon friends.
Yeah,
Greetings
exactly.
and salutations, and thank you so much.
And apparently, there's a service called Podnods that we've got a few subscribers through as well. So,
all right, well,
good
there
stuff.
you go. Today I learned, Mitch.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what that is, but people are listening to us through that. So,
well,
good deal.
Then we like it. We like it very much.
All right. All right. So you can also check us out. I am at mitchcraig.online. If you're looking for me on socials or anything like that, you can hit us up with questions, comments, through our socials, or I don't know that we have a function on our page to do that. I'll have to look and see if there's a form that we can put up. But because with the mass exodus of Twitter, perhaps maybe you don't have a Twitter account anymore. So I'm holding out and waiting to see what happens there. But I saw a rumor that somebody else was looking to buy it from Elon recently.
Why?
Actually, I think it was Apple was offering money for it, but I think it was a parody. I don't think it was real.
Yeah.
But do you imagine if Apple owned Twitter?
No.
No, I can't imagine that at all.
Why would they do it?
I don't know.
It's a nightmare.
Why
would
they
want to?
Yeah.
Like, they have the money, but why would they want to own a social media? Like, just
the number one thing that has to change on Twitter is moderation. And I don't think Apple or anyone else wants to put the work into that.
No.
I don't think Elon wants to put the work into that either, although he's promised that that there's going to be attention given to that. But it's crazy.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see it I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep. But anyway, you can find Cam Brennan somewhere as well. Where can they find you, Cam?
CamBrennan.com.
It's easy. CamBrennan.com.
It is.
Really isn't hard. If you want to check them out, go check them out there. You put any of your pictures and stuff up there?
I have a headshot up,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Yeah, because I know that you've got Brennan. Do you have Brennan.media as well for your business?
No, so my photography and videography is brennanmedia.co.
Okay.
But there's a link to that on my .com site. But yeah, so all of my photography and video stuff is brennanmedia.co.
Sweet. thought I'd give you a plug there. Maybe get you
I
some business.
appreciate it because I would sure like that to be more of a thing than it currently is.
Yep. Very cool. All right. Well,
I
thanks for
appreciate
listening, and Cam, thanks for showing up and being awesome today. And
it. You too, Mitch. You too.
all right, excellent. And I bow to you, sir, benevolent
Yes.
predictator, and hopefully none of that stuff is going to change. We should have put a point value on the football prediction.
Let's think on that in next episode.
I think we should make it 3 points. So if I win,
So,
I
well,
overcome.
hold on, because I might change my pick. Then I might just pick what you pick. So no matter what, I still win.
That wasn't one of the options here.
Yeah, let's think through that.
Maybe it'll just be for a good pat on the back.
There you go. Or the loser has to send the winner something in the mail. We'll think on it. We'll come back next episode with our decision, folks.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right, thanks, and have a good one, man.
Bye.
Peace.